We're going to talk about Ja Morant here, staying in the NBA. Now, how long should Ja Morant be suspended by the Grizzlies for the latest IG Live gun incident? So, if y'all don't know, through the grapevine, what we saw on social media yesterday was Ja Morant again posting a gun. This is not the strip club video I'm talking about here. There's a whole separate video that took place yesterday with him in a car with his boy waving up a gun. And he has since been suspended from all team activities. So, Zay, as you see the question at the bottom ticker, what's your response?
He got suspended for the season. I think he got a slap on the wrist last time with that incident in the strip club. I think it should have been discussed that any other incidents like this you would lose everything, and then you got a slap on the wrist before. You didn't lose your endorsements, you didn't lose money, you didn't, you probably had a conversation with the officials, with the team, and you only got suspended 8 games. You got a slap on the wrist, you gotta wait. And the fact that you decided to flaunt a gun on an Instagram live video that had no reason to be like just flaunting a gun. Like, no one's saying you can't have it. But why are you showing on Instagram live? Why are you showing your gun on a damn live for what? What is the purpose for it? It doesn't make any sense. It just you want to look cool for whatever reason. You want to look like you want a particular appearance for whatever reason. And you just look foolish. You have everything to lose. And the fact that you're putting that on the line, you're probably the breadwinner in a lot of circles you're in, and you're taking money and not only out of your mouth, out of their mouths, and food off their tables, in a lot of different situations. Like, you don't understand how good you have it right now as an NBA player. You have everything you dreamed of, and you're willing to throw it all away just to look cool, just to have an appearance. And that's just foolish to me. I think he deserves to be suspended for a year. I think he's already been spoken to once. And, what else are you going to do? Suspend him for another 8 games, 9 games? That doesn't make sense. They already talked to you about brandishing a weapon. They already told you about how you are a role model to many people. And the first thing you do is show off a gun. That doesn't make any sense. I don't care if it's in an open carry state. That doesn't matter. It's because you are actively showing off a gun that doesn't need to be shown. And his boy, who was on Instagram Live, was the one that had to take the camera right away off of him, because it was like, why would you do that in the first place? I had the camera on you. No one told you to just take the gun out. No one told you to do that. You did it upon yourself. You made a foolish action, and it doesn't make sense. The people around them needs to be better, because if they're not in his ear saying, yo, you can't be doing this and the third, you look foolish, we wish you was in your shoes, then like, I don't understand what else can be happening. I'm not blaming, of course, the people around him, because he's his own man. He can make his own decisions. But it's crazy how his decision making is so poor, and it's just upsetting how talented he is, and that's the decisions he's deciding to make. So for me, I think a year-long suspension is fair.
To be honest, giving out discipline and suspension is not really my expertise. I try to keep it sporty, basketball, football. As far as like, what he should get, I'm not sure I'm really to really put a number on it. I disagree in the sense that I don't think it should be a year. Like, I think that's too long. Like, you know, I think a year is too excessive. I do think it should be longer than 8, right? I thought it should have been longer than 8 before, but I understand, at that point in the calendar, the playoffs was around the corner. So I understand why they wanted to get him back, situated and getting active so he can go to the playoffs with no limitations, whatever. Even though that shouldn't have mattered, you always got to think about, making a point over winning, and I get that. But I just think a year, remember, this is not the NFL. If it was the NFL, maybe a year, right? Deshaun Watson got suspended a year for 22 allegations. He didn't even get suspended for the full year, actually. He got suspended for 6 games, I think. No, more than 6 games. It was more than 6 games. He got suspended for 12 games, right? For that. Like, and then Ja gets suspended for 82 for that, and 82, 17, 12. Like, that's I think 82, like, think about the NBA season. There's 82 games. That's like 2 seasons in one. Like, maybe you suspended for half the season at worst, but 82, I just think is too excessive. What he needs is, help. He needs to go to therapy. They need to work something out instead of discipline. I don't always think discipline solves everything. Ja Morant already lost money, right? Not a lot as far as a fine, but he lost all NBA money, right? So if that wasn't enough to kind of deter him from doing that, it clearly wasn't enough. So I think sometimes instead of us giving discipline, I'm not saying that you shouldn't give discipline. That ass whooping made me who I am today. I'll tell you that. Okay. Without that ass whooping, I probably wouldn't be here right now doing something constructive with my life. But at the same time, I don't think that solves everything. I think help, reaching out and getting this guy into a program helps. Listen, I understand this may be a jokey joke, but it's not a jokey joke.
Hmm.
Maybe send him to Scared Straight on an episode. I mean, something gotta, you gotta do something other than discipline. Because let's say you suspend him. What if he becomes the next Aaron Hernandez on the streets because he's on the streets more?
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? How you gonna map that out? So I understand my mind. That's how my mind works. I'm thinking about the worst possible scenario. I always do. That's why I'm very strategic with how I move. I'm always thinking worst case scenario. So that's what I'm doing here. I don't think the 82 suspension is. I don't think it makes sense to me. However, I'm not gonna cut Ja Morant loose here. It was an idiot move. Clearly, the first time was an idiot move. The second time is even worse, and it shows that you don't care. And I think for me, Ja Morant, he got to work on his shooting, not his shooting. Okay, literally, no pun intended. Okay, he needs to be a better 3-point shooter. Okay, he need to work on that shooting, not that shooting. But I think for me, I look at it like this: Ja Morant in the NBA, we have to realize the NBA is like Catholic school, and Ja Morant is wearing the uniform, right? For those of y'all who been to Catholic high school, because I did, I went to Catholic high school. We wear a uniform, right? And you represent the school, not only when you are in school grounds and campus grounds, but when you leave. And let's say you did something, you got in a fight, in another borough, that had nothing to do with the school. Nobody with the school you fought. You still can get disciplined in a Catholic school. They can literally suspend you if they find out on social media. You get expelled. You get suspended. This, that, and the
Hmm.
third. And I think it's the same thing with the NBA. Like the NBA is a Catholic league in a way. Like you do get disciplined. Think about it. Kyrie Irving, he posted a link to Amazon, literally a link to a documentary on Amazon, and got suspended 8 games for it. Think about it. He didn't create the documentary. He wasn't like Michael B. Jordan behind the scenes or on camera. He just posted a link and he got suspended for it. Cam Thomas got fined 10K for saying, no, you know what? I don't even want to get canceled on my own damn show, right? For saying literally, no, you know what? Think about it in an interview. So the image is very important to the NBA. It's all about the image here. And that's what this comes down to. That's why I think he's going to get a lengthier suspension. It comes down to the image, right? Yes, you having a gun in certain states is legal, but the image is what matters to the NBA. And like I said before, the NBA is like Catholic school. When you put on the jersey of the Memphis Grizzlies, you are representing not only yourself and your name, Morant, that's on the back of your jersey, but you're representing the NBA and your team. Same thing outside of the NBA. I understand the Grizzlies, their playoffs is over. They lost to the Lakers, but he's representing his team, organization, and himself when he's in that car posting, the gun. When he's at the club posting the gun. So I think Ja Morant has to be better with his decision making and understand that image is everything. And hopefully he could portray a better image going forward.
Yeah, I mean, there's just so much. It's not really much to say until we see what happens furthermore down the line. But he has to have better people around him, better decision makers. I mean, I guess you are what you. I mean, you become what your environment is, and if that is what he's surrounded by, like just flaunting his gun and appearing to be something beyond what he actually is, which is an NBA basketball player, then I don't really know what to say. Like I understand we all come from different parts of the world, and we all understand that certain parts that are not privy to the public, and we get that. But sometimes you have to understand when and where is the appropriate time to I guess showcase that. And online, while you're getting paid millions of dollars from corporations and endorsements and all this other money that could literally take it away in an instant, it's just not the smart thing for me.
Yeah, my last point on this topic is that when you reflect back to the video itself, I really should have spent a little bit more time analyzing the video. I watched it 2 times, but I never really watched it from a lens where like I'm investigating it. I just watched it because I came across it. So maybe I should have investigated it more. But from what I saw was that the friend took out the camera and the gun was already in his hand. Right. I'm not sure if he took out the gun when the camera got on him or if it was already out. right? Would
The
you be able
the
to
full length,
answer
yeah, I
that?
saw it a few times. The full length video was that he was on Instagram Live and they were just singing the song already. Everyone was like on just basically singing the song. And then when he put the camera on Ja Morant originally to show he was with him, then he put it back on himself, and then we put it back on Ja Morant. Ja Morant just took the gun out like
So he
rapidly.
took it out when
And
the
then
camera
the
got
friend
back
took the
on him.
camera out. And then the friend tried to move the camera as fast as he could, but it was already like it was only a split second you saw the gun in his hand. But that's all the second you need because you already saw Ja Morant earlier in the clip.
So let me be clear. Ja Morant was cognizant that the friend had the camera on him before he took out the gun, or was he not cognizant of it? Like, was the gun already like out, and the
No, he
friend
was
just happened
cognizant.
to
He was cognizant
he was
that
cognizant? All right, so that
he
changes a few things. Not as far as the suspension,
yeah.
but as far as the next, closing act here with this topic, because I would have said that you need to be cognizant of your surroundings, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was literally going to be my next lap. But since he was cognizant that his friend had the video, then it just makes him look even worse.
Mm-hmm.
And now, like, I really want to come at him harder, even though I'm trying to remain, neutral here. And I think for me, my last point, it goes back to social media.
Mm-hmm.
And what these people do because of social media. Everybody's trying to portray an image on social media. And I think Ja Morant, he needs, and everything about me in this topic is image. I spoke about image, that's everything, right? Image is everything. And I think Ja Morant needs to do a better job of taking on the NBA image than the thug image. And on social media, a lot of people, they get themselves in trouble because they post their money. You know how many rappers died because they posted money or their
Mm-hmm.
address, and unfortunately that resulted in them dying. Like, social media is a trap. Ja Morant probably should deactivate his social media, period. Not even deactivate, he probably should delete it. Delete the social media. Bye. If you're going to continue to get in trouble, like, if you want to play with guns, go ahead. By all means, knock yourself out. But don't do it on camera. If you can't put the gun down, then put the social media down. Because
Correct.
obviously mixing the two together ain't going well for you. And I think that's why I stay off of social media, right? A lot of people be like, oh, why you don't watch my stories and all that? I don't give a damn about what you're doing on a day-to-day basis, just like I don't want you knowing what I do on a day-to-day basis, right? But people and athletes feel that they need to show what they're doing every single day, and people feel like they need to watch what they're doing every single day. I just never understood that. I think Ja Morant should use his platform like how I use my platform to promote 99 Pod, promote your basketball brand, right? Not to promote having guns. It would never make sense to me. This clearly doesn't. And when you reflect back to that draft, and I'm closing out here, I think it was 2019, Zion, Ja Morant, RJ Barrett. The Knicks, in a way, it goes back to the last conversation we had. The Knicks literally are a smarter franchise than what the general population give us credit for.
Mm-hmm.
We are a smarter organization. Think about it, right? I'm not trying to get off sidetrack here, but it's going to come back. Like Kevin Durant. Oh, go after Kevin Durant. We was like, wait, hold up. Because we wanted him. We pursued him. Then we actually pulled out. It wasn't Kevin Durant saying, nah. We pulled out, right? And that was ended up being smart. Now look where Kevin Durant is at. He just got another coach fired on another team, right? Think about the draft. Oh, you didn't get Zion. You didn't get Ja Morant. Well, Zion came and get back on the court. We barely seen him on the court. I seen him more off the court than I did on the court. The guy can't stop going to White Castle, sneaking out at midnight with the daggone hoodie on and the sunglasses on, getting him a burger at 1 o'clock in the morning. He can't put it down. Ja Morant can't put down the gun, right? Zion Williamson can't put down the burgers. Ja Morant can't put down the gun. But RJ Barrett will pick up a basketball, and he'll make it or miss it, but at least he picked up the basketball. So I think when you reflect back to that drive, actually, I think I feel good about where we are from that point on. And I'll leave it there.
Absolutely. Please like and subscribe for all the up-to-date content. You've been slinging shows left and right, slinging content left and right. Please don't miss anything. If you do, like, subscribe, leave a comment, or leave a question, something you may want to answer, something you may have. All ideas are great ideas. Nothing's a dumb question.